Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. In today's video we play Kill Team with the Adepta Sororitas against the Death Guard. I'm Simone and I play the Sisters.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will play the Death Guard. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys.
Today's mission is Reinforced Chamber. The two kill teams will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 6 points of interest and they are arranged in this way. Their status is marked as inactive. Each operative will be able to perform an action and change the status to active, earning a victory point.
More victory points will be earned at the end of the battle for each sector controlled. There are 3 sectors that give 2 victory points each and can be controlled by friendly operatives if the total APL characteristic is greater than that of the enemies within that sector.
The Sisters have learned that the Death Guard on the planet Hesperia has managed to infiltrate their Order Sacred Catacombs, where important relics are laid out on display alongside the bodies of long-buried Sisters. Such a shame cannot be tolerated. The Sisters are on the march to expel the offenders from that sacred place. The Adepta Sororitas kill team is made up of 10 Novitiate operatives. Leading the team, Novitiate Superior Vasha, armed with plasma pistol and power weapon. The other sisters who are part of the team are a Novitiate Dialogus who takes care of communications and an Exactor to keep order among the ranks, a Penitent with the ability that allows her to fight twice, a Novitiate Hospitaller to take care of the sisters when they are injured, a Pronatus to protect the relics, and a Reliquarius to display their most important symbols. There is the Duelist with good fight skills, then the Purgatus in case you need to warm up the atmosphere, and finally the Novitiate Condemnor with their supply of stakes. As additional equipment, I gave the Autochastier to the Novitiate Superior, the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus to the Pronatus, then I gave the Adamantine Weave Surplice to the Hospitaller, and finally the Sainted Reliquie to the Duelist.
During a scouting mission on planet Hesperia, a Death Guard kill team found the entrance of a dense network of underground passages. While exploring several tunnels, they realized that many led to a catacomb of the Adepta Sororitas. To understand if these tunnels can prove useful, they must first eliminate the Sisters guarding the catacombs and continue exploring. The kill team is formed by 2 Plague Marines fire teams. The first team consists of a Plague Marine champion, my leader, equipped with a bolt gun and power fist, a Plague Marine gunner with his trusty plasma gun, and a Plague Marine warrior. The second fire team consists of a Plague Marine heavy gunner armed with a blight launcher, a Plague Marine icon bearer, and a Plague Marine warrior. As additional equipment, I gave Mephitic Toxin to the blight launcher, the plasma gun, and both the warriors, who also have virulent rounds for a total of 10 points.
During the deployment, I had to make an important choice. Andrea has deployed the models evenly across the 3 sectors, and my concern is that I don't have enough strength to face his Death Guard by separating my forces. But sectors are worth too many points not to try to contest them, so I split my models evenly too, keeping 3 models at the top with the Exactor and the Penitent ready to fight in close combat, 4 in the center including the leader and the Purgatus, and the last 3 in the lower sector whose task will be only to entertain the enemy leader and not let him advance further.
Deploying first, I decided to divide my operatives equally for each sector. Starting from the bottom, I deployed the champion and one of the warriors. In the center there are the plasma with another warrior, and in the upper sector there are the blight launcher and the icon bearer.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Each of us chooses a number of dice equal to the corresponding number of the choice, 1 for Fortify, 2 for Infiltrate and 3 for Recon. Red dice for the Sisters and green dice for the Death Guard. We both chose Fortify. What a surprise! The initiative goes to the Sisters.
I placed the barrier in the middle sector to protect my operatives a little more since there are 4 Sisters deployed there.
The lower sector is far too open for my liking, so I place my barrier next to this point of interest. In the strategy phase, I use the strategic ploy Eyes of the Emperor for a command point, which allows me to use pistols without considering the ranged special rule. None of us have to reveal TAC Ops, so we can start right into the firefight phase. Yulia, the Duelist, is the first to activate and starts by opening the door in front of her, then enters the room and approaches the control panels.
My champion, Mark, opens the door and with movement and dash goes inside the bottom sector.
The Pronatus has the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus, which allows her to have an extra APL by rolling a 6, but not in this case. Sensing she needs a lot of faith to fight against the Death Guard, Terry raises the relic and gains 2 fate points for the Sisters.
Anderson uses movement and dash to reach the control panel, and with his third action activates the point of interest, earning 1 victory point.
With the door open, Milena can finally move freely and takes the opportunity to approach the control panel. Then, once there, she activates the panel and earns my first victory point.
Naomi, the icon bearer, opens the door and with movement and dash, goes hiding behind the generator.
Alina, the Condemnor, opens the door and, not seeing any enemies around, approaches the pipe while remaining in cover.
The Blight Launcher, also known as Marvin, reaches the pipes with movement and dash and activates them, earning 1 victory point.
The Reliquarius Maggie opens the door leading to the upper sector and moves into the corner of the room, trying to hide from sight of enemies.
The warrior outside the middle sector, Alex, opens the door and moves behind the barrier.
Olga, the Exactor, draws her whip and strikes hard at the penitent's back, giving her an extra circle of movement.
My plasma, Luna, moves behind the power panel and with her third action activates it, earning 1 victory point, reaching 3.
Vanya, the Hospitaller, saw the two Deathguard warriors enter the room, so she decides to move silently alongside the Condemnor to give her support.
Since I have finished operatives to activate, I can shoot Overwatch. Mark aims at the duelist and shoots 4 shots at 3+ because of the -1 for the Overwatch, hitting 2 normal and 1 crit.
3 dice at 4+ to save. Oh, what a remarkable start! Saved! Lilibet, the Purgatus, moves alongside her sisters. Then, thanks to her ability, she performs a free forward dash reaching the center of the room and opens fire with the flamethrower against the warriors in front of her. To make sure I deal as much damage as possible, I use deploy Burning Wrath for a command point, upgrading her flamethrower. Now, the barbecue is ready. First to be hit is the Plasma Warrior, 5 hits at 2+. All hit! Also, being in condensed environment, her flamethrower has the 5+ lethal rule, so it's 1 critical hit and 4 normals. To do even more damage, I use 3 fate points for Vengeful Strike, transforming my normal hit into a critical hit.
I spend 1 command point for the Tactical Ploy Revolting Durability, which allows me to change one of Simone's crit into normal hit. Then, thanks to the cover, I save 1 dice automatically and roll 2 more dice at 3+. 2 save total! My Marines are disgustingly resilient, so I can roll a dice for every wound they suffer. With 5+, that wound is ignored, rolling 10 dice at 5+. 7 wounds ignored! Wow, that's awesome!
Since the flamethrower is a weapon with the torrent rule, it can also hit the Marine next to the other. 5 shots at 2+ on him too. All hit but no critical hits.
Just like before, 1 automatic save and 2 dice at 3+. 2 total saves. Disgustingly resilient, 9 dice at 5+. 6 wounds through. Luna is left with 9 wounds and 2 Inferno tokens because of the empowered crit, while Alex is left with 6 wounds. Luna is quite angry, so she shoots back with her plasma thanks to the Overwatch, making 4 empowered shots at 4+, hitting 3!
With -2 penetration, the Purgatus cannot defend herself from the plasma shots, so she would die. Luckily, the Hospitaller is next to her and can run to help. With her ability Mantra of Restoration, Vanya revives the Pronatus, leaving her alive with only 1 wound and injured. Nicely done. The Sister Superior witnessed this scene and in a vengeful fury moves inside the room and draws her plasma pistol, then takes aim and fires at the Marine behind the barrier. 4 hits at 2+. 1 critical hit and 1 normal.
-1 penetration and 1 automatic save, so I roll just 1 dice at 3+. 5! With both normal saves, I block the critical, so 5 wounds through. Disgustingly resilient, 5 dice at 5+. 3 wounds ignored. 4 wounds left to Alex, which is disgustingly resilient, so he can't be injured. Alex tries to eliminate the Purgatus with his Overwatch. 4 shots at 4+. Just 1 hit.
3 dice at 4+ to save her. I only need to save 1. There it is, saved. Back, the Penitent uses her 4 circles of movement to reach the pipes, then uses her second action to activate them, earning my second victory point. The Purgatus Flamethrower has the Inferno 1 rule, which deploy has upgraded to Inferno 2. The Marine with the Plasma has suffered a critical hit, so he has 2 tokens. At the end of the turn, he rolls a dice for each token, and on 4+, he suffers a mortal wound. Nope, the Death Guard is very resistant, I would say. Even too much. No one sustained. The first round is over and all in all the situation is better than imagined. The Purgatus did massive damage in the central sector and she even survived thanks to the Hospitaller. If I managed to gain the initiative in the next turn, I could relight the barbecue and conquer the central sector without much effort. I still have 1 point of interest to activate, the central one, but I think I will be able to activate it without too many problems in the next round.
Well, I didn't expect much of this round, so I can't say that I'm surprised of how it went. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to eliminate the Purgatus, but all in all, it could have been worse. In the next round, I absolutely need to take the initiative to try to eliminate that Purgatus and avoid losing the middle sector. Rolling for initiative.
No, a 2 is too low.
3. The initiative is mine. I spend 1 command point for the strategic ploy Malicious Volleys. Each time I activate a friendly operative with a bolt gun, if he does not perform a fight action, he can perform 2 shoot actions.
In the strategy phase, I use again deploy Eyes of the Emperor to increase the range of the sister's pistols.
The first to activate is Alex, that shoots the Purgatus and makes 4 shots at 3+, hitting 3 crits and a normal hit. I guess she's dead.
Well, I'd say she's dead again. But the Hospitaller is always there ready to help, and with the ability Mantra of Restoration revives her. The Purgatus will probably feel like she has a big hangover. Lilibet remains alive with only 1 wound.
We'll see. Alex shoots again the Purgatus 4 shots at 3+, 1 crit and 3 normal hits. As I said, she's dead.
Like a punching bag, the Purgatus falls backwards and this time remains on the ground without getting up again. She gave a hard time, huh?
Indeed.
The Sister Superior again tries to take out the Marine behind the barrier and fires her plasma pistol on him, making 4 shots at 2+. 3 hit.
Saving 1 automatically and -1 penetration, so rolling 1 dice at 3+. Rerolling with a command point. Saved both. 5 wounds through, so disgustingly resilient, 5 dice at 5+. Unlucky. Since Alex only has 4 wounds left, 1 wound ignored is not enough to keep him alive. First Marine to leave the battlefield.
With the second action, the Superior moves behind the power panel. Having eliminated an enemy thanks to her ability Lead by Example, I can activate another model of mine after the Superior, and I choose the Condemnor. Alina activates and moves across the room to get a good line of sight on the Marine with the plasma, then fires at him with 4 shots at 3+. 1 critical hit and 2 normal hits. I use 3 fate points for Vengeful Strike, transforming a normal hit into a critical hit.
I spend 1 command point for deploy Revolting Durability and change 1 crit into a normal hit. Then, with -1 penetration and 1 automatic save, I roll 1 dice at 3+. Saved! Disgustingly resilient, 5 dice at 5+. 1 wound ignored. Luna has 5 wounds left. Mark activates and aims the duelist, then shoots 4 shots at 2+ with his bolt gun. 3 hit.
I need 4+ to save the duelist. 2 saved, 3 wounds suffered.
Shooting again, 4 shots at 2+. All hit.
Having only 3 dice, I can't save 1, but I can try to save the others at 4+. Wow, the duelist really wanted to stay alive. She suffered 3 more wounds. Yulia is left with 1 wound and is injured. Better hide next time.
With his last action, Mark moves 4 inches forward.
The Exactor doesn't like slackers, so she too moves across the room and reaches the Penitent, then takes out her favorite weapon and clarifies the point again with another firm lash on the Penitent.
Marvin watches as the Penitent gets whipped by her ally and decides to join the punishment, shooting at the Penitent with his Blight Launcher. 4 shots at 3+. Just 2 hits.
With penetration -1, I have 2 dice available. I have to roll 4+. I don't want to lose the Penitent after all those lashes, so I use 2 fate points for Divine Shield and turn a failed dice into a saved one. Then I use a command point to reroll another dice. Nope, 4 wounds suffered by Beck, who is left with 3 wounds and is injured. Beck is in pain, perhaps more from the lashes than from enemy shots, but she still has the will to fight. With 3 actions at her disposal, there is a lot to do. To start, the Penitent moves next to the generator in the center of the room, then with the gun she takes aim at the Marine who shot her and opens fire. 4 shots at 4+ due to the injury. Oh, well done! 2 critical hits and 1 normal hit. See what lashes are for?
Saving 1 automatically thanks to the cover. 2 dice at 3+. Just 1 save. With 2 normal saves, I block 1 crit and roll 5 dice for Disgustingly Resilient. Just 1 wound ignored, so 4 wounds through.
With the third and final action, Beck uses the dash and hides from sight behind the generator.
Luna activates and aims her plasma gun to the enemy leader, then shoots 4 overcharged shots at 3+. A1. There's 3 mortal wounds on Luna because of the rule HOT when overcharging the plasma. Disgustingly resilient at 5+. 2 wounds ignored. Great!
Unfortunately, with -2 penetration and 5 wounds per dice, there is nothing I can do to save the Sister Superior. Have a nice trip to heaven, Basha.
and Luna suffers 1 wound.
Yulia is wounded but can still do something and decides to fire with her gun at the Marine leader. Before shooting, I reveal the attack up Mark Target. If I wound the enemy leader, it does not suffer any wounds but I gain a victory point. The sister does 4 shots at 4+ due to the injury. 2 hit.
Saving 1 with the cover and rolling 2 dice at 3+. Saved! Naomi activates and moves to head the Exactor inside, then aims and shoots with the bolt gun 4 shots at 3+. 1 crit and 2 normal hits.
The Exactor saves with 3 dice at 4+. 2 dice saved, not bad. 3 wounds suffered.
Shooting again 4 shots at 3+. Just 1 hit this time.
Ha! This time it's easier. I only have to save 1 at 3+ with 3 dice. No problem. Here are your wounds. Carry them with pride. The Dialogus also tries to complete the attack up by shooting the leader, 4 shots at 3+. It seems that hitting the leader is harder than you think.
Just like before, 1 automatic save and 2 dice at 3+. Saved again.
To avoid being targeted, Milena runs out of the room and hides behind the wall.
Anderson uses movement and dash, and then stands on guard waiting for some targets to shoot.
The Hospitaller doesn't have enough action points available, so she passes the turn.
The first Marine to overwatch is Luna, that aims the Condemnor in front of her and shoots 4 normal shots at 4+. Hitting 2 normal and a crit.
Plasma has penetration -1, so I save with only 2 dice at 4+. Save both. Great! 5 wounds sustained. That's a lot. 2 wounds left and the Condemnor is injured. The Pronatus Terry raises the relic to gain 2 more fate points, which I really need. She then moves to the door of the central sector to go and give help.
Second overwatch of the round. Naomi aims the Reliquarius and shoots 4 shots at 4+. Hitting 3 normal hits.
Looks like pigeon shooting, damn it! 3 dice at 4+. Too bad! I had almost saved them all. 3 wounds suffered by the Reliquarius and she's left with 5 wounds, as she has 8 in total. Maggie moves to the center of the room to get a good view of the enemy, then fires at the Blight Launcher, 4 shots at 3+. All shots hit.
Saving 1 automatically thanks to the cover and rolling 2 dice at 3+. All saved, good job! At the end of the turn, I reveal the Taco of Execution. If in the next turn more enemies than friendly operatives are incapacitated, I gain a victory point. This round was almost perfect. I lost a Marine in the middle sector, but I think I won the bottom one. Simone's operatives are not in good shape. I hope I can eliminate many of them in the next turn. Also, if in the next round I manage to win the upper sector as well, I should be able to secure the victory.
Okay, this turn was much more difficult than the first. The Death Guard's toughness began to take its toll. I'm in a complicated situation, but nothing that can be solved. I need to gain the initiative next turn and take control of the central sector. Then I have to control the upper sector as well. I have to focus my attention on these 2 areas or I won't have a chance to win. I was hoping to be able to score more victory points with the attack ops. I'll have to try to complete them this turn.
Rolling for initiative?
Okay, 5 is good.
5! Since I had the initiative the previous round, this time you go first.
Finally some good news. The initiative goes to the sisters. In the strategy phase, I use again a command point for Eyes of the Emperor to increase the range of the pistols. The first sister to activate is the Penitent, and for her I use Blast Rejuvenation, twice, for a total of 4 fate points. The model recovers 2d3 wounds. Perfect! 4 wounds recovered, full life again. Reinvigorated by her faith in the Emperor, Beck decides to charge the Marine behind the generator. Arrived in close combat, the Penitent fights with 4 attacks at 4+. The Penitent can reroll the failed dice in the first combat. 1 critical hit and 2 normal hits.
Ouch! Naomi makes 3 attacks at 3+. 2 crits.
Beck begins the fight by pairing with the critical dice the opponent's crit.
Naomi deals damage with her crit.
The Penitent deals damage with both of the remaining attacks.
Rolling 12 dice for Disgustingly Resilient at 5+. 7 wounds ignored! That is truly disgusting!
It is indeed. The Penitent, thanks to her ability, can fight a second time. Being injured, this time she makes 4 attacks at 5+. I use 1 fate point for Fateful Blessing, which allows me to reroll a dice. A great reroll! 1 critical hit and 2 normals.
Naomi responds again with 3 attacks at 3+. 1 crit and 2 normal hits.
Unfortunately, I have no chance to save her, so the Penitent does damage with the critical hit.
And the Icon Bearer eliminates her opponent. Disgustingly Resilient, 7 dice at 5+. 3 more wounds ignored.
Backstory is truly troubled, one of the saddest they have ever told.
2 wounds left to Naomi. Luna activates and tries to eliminate the Condemnor. 4 normal shots at 3+ with the plasma. Rerolling the 6 in a balance. 1. 1 crit and 1 normal hit.
2 dice at 4+ to save the Condemnor. Not even 1. What a disaster. Alina falls to the ground, but the Hospitaller is ready to intervene and revive her. Alina is alive again, but with only 1 wound and the injury.
And then Luna dashes to take a little bit more cover.
The Exactor is furious at having lost her favorite stress reliever and decides to take revenge. With the first action, she moves within short distance of the enemy Marine, then strikes him with her whip. 5 hits at 3+. 4 successful hits. She's really furious.
Saving with 3 dice at 3+. All saved, but 5 wounds still pass. Disgustingly resilient at 5+. Nope, Naomi leaves the battlefield. Anderson moves and stands on guard behind the control panel, waiting for the duelist to run in front of him.
The Reliquarius must reach the opposite side of the hall at all costs, so she moves towards the enemy, then fires with a pistol at the Marine, making 4 shots at 3+. Oh boy, how sad. The shot is automatically saved thanks to the cover, so nothing.
Marvin shoots with his Blight Launcher on the Exactor, making 4 shots at 3+. Okay, rerolling 1 with a command point. 6! 1 crit and 1 normal hit.
With -1 penetration, I need 4+ with 2 dice. No way, she's dead. The Exactor fell not far from where the Penitent fell. The 2 sisters lie there together. And the whip.
With his second action, Marvin charges the Reliquarius and then fights, making 3 attacks at 3+. 6! Good job, Marvin!
3 attacks at 4+ for the Reliquarius. 1 critical attack and 1 normal.
Marvin deals damage with the crit and eliminates the sister.
The Reliquarius failed to reach the opposite wall of the room. With the sister eliminated, the secret flag she was carrying, which perhaps was not so secret, falls to the ground. I reveal the TACOP plant banner. I was supposed to bring the flag at least within 6 inches of the opposing deployment zone. The flag is in place, but Andrea will surely destroy it. I don't think I'll be able to complete this TACOP.
And since Marvin incapacitated an enemy within engagement range, I can reveal the TACOP Robert Ransack. Good job, mate!
The Dialogus moves and reaches the Pronatus in the race towards the central sector. Once there, she gives her an additional APL.
Mark uses movement and dash, and as soon as the duelist enters in his sight, he shoots her with his bolt gun 4 shots at 2+. Hitting with all 5s. Nice!
With only 1 wound left and 4 successful hits, I can't save her. The duelist also leaves the battlefield. The Condemnor has 1 action left and uses it to shoot the Marine with the plasma. 4 hits at 4+. Alina is too tired to aim well.
Luna responds with Overwatch on the Condemnor and makes 4 normal shots at 4+. A crit and a normal hit.
2 dice at 4+ for the -1 penetration. Nope! The central sector was the one I had to control. It doesn't seem to be succeeding. The Hospitaller has done her job and retires from the sector so as not to end up like her sisters. The Pronatus can't do anything, so she passes the turn. Game over. Victory goes to the death card. What a disappointment! I believed until the end that I could win the game, but the Death Guard's disgustingly resilient rule got in the way. Must be said that we both had excellent dice rolls in this game, but I lacked the firepower to take out the Marines. In hindsight, perhaps I should have ignored the lower sector altogether and deployed more models in the middle and upper sector, so I would have more chances to control them. Lesson learned. Will be better next time. The catacombs will be devastated by the Death Guard. The surviving sisters will have to warn their order of the imminent danger.
What a great game! I really have to thank Disgustingly Resilient that kept my operatives alive for so long. If it wasn't for that ability, I think I would have lost in the second turn. The MVP goes to Luna, my plasma gun. She alone handled 4 operatives and held the center sector admirably. But congratulations also to the whole team that performed perfectly. Now that the catacombs are empty, my Death Guard can keep looking for a path to invade the city above.
And with this, we conclude. If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description.
And if you have come this far, write the word WEEP in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!